Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the players or the prospects that the Commanders have brought on top 30 visits thus far during the draft process. And obviously, we haven't brought in a ton of players so far, or reportedly haven't brought in a ton of players so far on visits, but the draft is still a month away, and I expect us to bring in a lot more players. So I'll be updating you guys on the players we bring in over the next couple of weeks. But before we get into today's video, make sure y'all leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and turn on notifications. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. Alright, so far the Commanders have brought in 4 guys on top 30 visits. Those guys are tackle Josh Conerly Jr., edge rusher Femi Oladejo, offensive tackle Wyatt Milum, and offensive tackle Gerard Christian Lichtenhand. Let's start with offensive tackle Josh Conerly Jr. And it is interesting that we've brought in 3 tackles so far on top 30 visits, right? And I have also found it interesting that we've met with a lot of tackles this offseason. Like, obviously the names I just read to you guys, Conerly, Lichtenhand, and Milum, but in the combine or during the combine, during the Senior Bowl, we met with a lot of tackles. Not too surprising, a little bit surprising considering, we traded for Laremy Tunsil, right? But when you think about it, it does make sense because Andrew Wiley, he only has 1 year left on his deal, right? So you're going to need a plan at right tackle. So maybe you could draft a tackle this year and then have him start at right tackle next year, right? It does make sense that they are looking at tackles even after trading for Laremy Tunsil. So first up, I want to talk about Josh Conerly Jr. And it's interesting that we brought him in for a visit because he's a left tackle. He's been a left tackle his entire collegiate career at Oregon. The past 2 seasons, he's been the Oregon starting left tackle. In 2023, played 887 snaps. 2024, 929 snaps. In 2023, allowed only 1 sack. Same in 2024. In 2023, he allowed 14 hurries. In 2024, he allowed 6. And he allowed 2 hits in 2023 and 2024. So he's been a very consistent, really good left tackle for Oregon over the past 2 seasons. They're starting, and he's just been really, really good for them. And he has that prototypical build and athleticism for a tackle. He's 6'5", 311 pounds, 33.5-inch arms, 10-inch hands, and has a really good athletic profile. So Conerly has all the physical tools, the athletic tools to be a really good tackle in this league. The question is, where would he fit along the O-line, right? We expect Laremy Tunsil to be our left tackle for the next, 3 or 5 years, longer than that, right? Like, he's only 30 years old, and with tackles, like, if you're an elite left tackle like Tunsil is, you can play until your late 30s. Like, look at Trent Williams, right? He's, 36, 37? He's still playing, and he's still playing really good football, right? So if you're a really good left tackle, you can play until you're pretty up there in age, right? So where would Josh Conerly Jr. fit if we were to draft him is my question. Can he play at right tackle? Can he move inside the guard? I'm not sure, right? So that's just my question when it comes to Josh Conerly and if we were to draft him. If he was there at 29, of course. Next up, we got offensive tackle Wyatt Milum out of West Virginia. And he, like Josh Conerly, is also left tackle. I'm not going to lie, I could have sworn he was a right tackle. Like, I was so sure when I searched him up, did some research on him before recording this video. I was like, yeah, he's definitely a right tackle. Like, I heard him being mentioned as a right tackle before, but he's a left tackle, and he started at left tackle for West Virginia over the past 3 years now. And like Conerly, he has the physical tools to be a really good left tackle. He does. He is 6'6.5", 313 pounds, 32-inch arms, 10-inch hands, good measurements overall. He had a 1.84 10-yard split, so not as athletic as Conerly, but still not too bad when it comes to athleticism. He could improve his run blocking, however. He's a pretty solid pass protector, but like Conerly, where would he fit? Right, left tackle, we already have Laremy Tunsil. We expect him to be our left tackle for the next couple of seasons. Where would Milum fit? right? So next guy up is Femi Oladejo, and this is a guy that has been getting draft buzz all off season long, and I needed to watch him because I needed to understand the hype, and I saw some of it on tape for sure, man. He's a guy that is built pretty solidly physically. Let me search up his measurables real quick. But I did a film breakdown on him, or I did a film review on him about a week or two ago. He is 6'3", 259 pounds, 33-inch arms, which is really, really good. So not a bad athletic profile. He was recently switched to edge rusher, or this past season actually, at UCLA. He was switched from linebacker to edge rusher once Kent Norton Jr., our current linebacker coach, left, right? So he was switched to edge rusher this past season at UCLA. At UCLA in 2024, he had 13.5 TFLs, 4.5 sacks, and started in all 12 games, had 57 tackles, and 2 pass breakups. He stood out in not only the Senior Bowl, but also had a really strong combine. He is really fast and physical to make the tackle on the running back. He's really good at stopping the run and setting the edge. As a pass rusher, he does need to, develop more of a plan, more pass rush moves, more counters, but he was just transitioned to the position this past season, so he definitely needs a little bit more development at edge rusher as a pass rusher, but he is a really good run defender right now, and he has tremendous pass rush upside. And getting a guy who is a really good run defender right now, who also has tremendous pass rush upside, that would be really good for us, and that's exactly what we need. Right now, I have an early round 3 grade on Femi Oladejo, but I could honestly see him going in the second round, probably late or mid-second round, because he's a guy that has high pass rush upside, in my opinion, and is already a very, very good run defender. So, and he just transitioned from linebacker to edge rusher. He's a guy that it seems like we have a lot of interest in. We went to his pro day. Adam Peters, DQ, and Lance Newmark was there, so the top 3 guys, assistant GM, GM, and head coach there, hey man, it seems like we're really interested in this guy, and obviously we brought him in on a top 30 visit as well. So Femi Oladejo, he's a guy to look out for because he's a guy that I could definitely see us drafting at some point in the first 2 days of the draft, because that's probably where he's going to go. And then the last guy on this list is offensive tackle Gerard Christian Lichtenham, tackle out of Oregon State. He was also with Colorado before transferring to Oregon State. He played at left tackle, or he has played at left tackle throughout his entire collegiate career. He is projected to go on day 3, so if we were to look at day 3 tackles, he's a guy that we may have interest in. Well, it looks like we do have interest in him since we brought him in on a top 30 visit. So he's a guy that you may want to pay attention to in terms of guys we may decide to pick on day 3 of the draft, because that's where he is projected to go right now. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below your thoughts on the guys that Commanders have brought in for top 30 visits so far. And once again, I'll be updating you guys over the next couple of weeks on guys the Commanders bring in for top 30 visits. And other than that, it's me, King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.